सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। बुद्ध्यारूढं सदा दृश्यम् दृश्यते यत्र तत्र वा मया तस्मात् परं ब्रह्म सर्वज्ञश्चास्मि सर्वगः। तस्मात् परं ब्रह्म सर्वज्ञश्चास्मि सर्वगश्चास्मि। Therefore, I am Param Brahma. Number one, Sarvajna, I am omniscient. Sarvagaha, I am all pervasive. I pervade everything simultaneously. I know everything simultaneously. And I am Param Brahma. Param means prapanchatitam. I am Brahma that transcends the prapancha. How do you say this? Because of the simple reason, buddhyarunam sada durvam drishyate yatra tatra va. Wherever anything is perceived or whenever anything is known, yatra tatra, yatra wherever, tatra there, whether it is here or there, waking, dream, a deep sleep, wherever, however, anything is known, buddhya rudam drishyate. You find that drishyate, that is perceived, that is seen, that is known. Perception is one kind of knowledge, but that's known. I'm aware of it. Buddhya rudham. I become aware of something when it becomes buddhya rudham, when it starts riding on the buddhi. Like ghata, pata, anything is known to me when ghata, pata becomes buddhya rudha. When it rides the buddhi or when buddhi rides on that, the buddhi takes the form of that object. So anything is known to me as a vritti and the buddhi. All knowledge takes place as the vritti or a form or a state of buddhi. So buddhi assumes the form of any object at any time, and then I become aware of that. So this is a simple observation. Anubhava astavastambhena. This is my anubhava. So when I examine this anubhava or experience, that whatever is known, whenever it is known, however it is known as a state of buddhi. Buddhi assumes the form of that object, and that's how it presents the object to me. So what does it mean? So buddhi vritti krodikrutam sada dushyate. It is pervaded by buddhi. It is surrounded by buddhi, embraced by buddhi. Tasmat, number one. So ultimately, all drishya is nothing but buddhi, state of buddhi. And I am the knower of that buddhi, therefore I am different from buddhi. The drishta is vilakshana, different from the drishya. All prapancha is included in buddhi. Because whatever is known or felt or experienced, all buddhi or antahkaranam. The whole prapancha, the whole universe of names and forms is all included in buddhi. I am the knower of that. And therefore I am different, I transcend that. So, drashta transcends the drishya. Because drashta illumines the drishya. I illumine that. When I say no, I illumine that. I illumine the whole world. Buddhi means the whole universe. I illumine the buddhi, the whole universe. So I simultaneously illumine the whole universe. I simultaneously know the whole universe. Drashta also pervades the drishya. The only way that I can know is when I pervade that. Because illuminated light pervades the object that is illuminated. So I pervade the buddhi, I pervade the entire prapancha, means I am all pervasive simultaneously, all knowing simultaneously. I transcend everything simultaneously. See? So simple experience just shows me, that enables me to contemplate upon the nature of myself. That I am Param Brahma, I am Sarvajna, I am Sarvagaha. Nanu katham etavata sarvajnatvam. Simply by this, how do you say you are omniscient, you are all knowing? All knowing means all knowing simultaneously. Past, present, future, all nothing but states of buddhi. Here, there, everywhere, all nothing but states of buddhi. But Purushantar Buddhya Rudayarthe, you can know what's going on in your buddhi. How can one person know what is going on in the mind of the other one? So you know whatever you know through your mind. You can say that you are the knower, you know what's in the mind, and you pervade the mind, you transcend the mind. But everybody can claim that. Everybody can claim that I know everything through my mind. Now how can I, who is aware of my mind, would know what is known by the other person through his mind? Purushantar buddhya rudayarthe purushantarasya anubhava smranayoho asambhavat. I cannot experience what is experienced by other person. So I cannot remember what is remembered by other person. This smarana, the remembrance, memory is only of what is experienced. So I can remember what I have experienced, I cannot remember what that person has experienced. I know what's in my mind, I do not know what is the mind of the other person. Ekasyatmana sarvartha prakashakatva siddhe. Therefore, how do you know that you, the Atma, illumines everything? You illumine your buddhi. How do you illumine everything? When this question arises, ataha yathatma, so the second verse says, yathatma buddhi charana साक्षी तद्वत्परेष्वपि नैवापोढुं न चादातुं शक्यस्तस्मात् परो ह्यहम्। यथा आत्मबुद्धि चारणाम अहम साक्षी, just as I am the witness of everything that becomes object of my buddhi, tadvat pareshvapi, similarly I am also the witness of what is going on the mind of others also. It depends on what you mean by I. If by I you mean ahankara, then certainly the I is ahankara, I am only aware of what's in my mind, not in somebody else's mind. But I is awareness, who is aware of your ahankara. So says therefore, Atma-buddhi charanam sakshi, just as I, the consciousness and the witness of whatever is the object, wherever my buddhi is dwelling. Vicharanam. Wherever my buddhi dwells, or whatever is the object of my buddhi, just as I am the witness of that, tadvat pareshvapi, therefore I am the same sakshi, who illumines also all other buddhis. Naiva podum na chadatum shakyah. I cannot be rejected, nor can I be acquired. Tasmad aham para, therefore I am para, I am supreme, I am transcendental, I am limitless. So the Tikakara explains, Atma buddhi charanam, yatha Atma buddhi charanam. So that is explained first. Atmani बुद्धि आत्मबुद्धि तस्याः चारः आत्मबुद्धि चारः तेषाम् आत्मबुद्धि चाराणाम्. That's how we explain. आत्मनि बुद्धि आत्मबुद्धि. Atma means what? सर्व व्यवहार प्रवर्तकतया आत्म संबंधिनी बुद्धि. आत्मनि बुद्धि आत्मनः बुद्धि आत्म संबंधिनी बुद्धि. बुद्धि of the आत्मा, buddhi in the atma or buddhi of the atma. In fact, there is no sambandha, even though you use the sambandha shashti. There is no sambandha that buddhi has with atma. How do you call it? The buddhi of the atma? अध्यात्म अधिदैव स्थूल सूक्ष्म देहात्मकाः सर्व व्यवहार प्रवर्तकतया. The buddhi carries out all the व्यवहार of the atma. Darshanam, Shravanam, whatever the atma does, in fact is done by buddhi. So buddhi does everything for atma. The kartrutva, bhoktva, everything is in buddhi. Atma wants to do something through buddhi. Wants to experience something through buddhi. Therefore, wants to keep awake through buddhi. Wants to go to sleep through buddhi. Buddhi is like minister. Sarva vyahara pravartakataya. Buddhi is the one that carries out all the vyavahara, all the transactions for the atma. If buddhi is not there, atma cannot do anything. Becomes without energy, without ability, unable. Can't even think. Thinking also is done by buddhi. Thus buddhi is the one that carries out all the vyavahara for the atma. Therefore it's called atmana buddhi. Therefore it's called the buddhi of the atma. That's only sambandha. Not that there is real connection between atma and buddhi. But since buddhi carries out all the vyavahara for Atma, so you can call it the buddhi in Atma or buddhi of Atma. So Atma sambandhini buddhi, Atma buddhi. So in fact, Atmana buddhi, but why do you call it Atma buddhi? Why do you call it the buddhi of the Atma? Because it carries out all the vyavahara in the Atma or for Atma. Then Atma buddhi chara, tasya chara, prachara, yeshu te Atma buddhi charaha. So wherever the buddhi has a reach, where the buddhi dwells, that is the chara. That is Atma buddhi chara. Vichara here means Vishaya. So Vishaya is called Atma buddhi charaha. Because that is where the buddhi dwells. That is where the buddhi has a reach, scope. So wherever the buddhi has a scope, that's his object of the buddhi. That's called Atma buddhi charaha. So what are those things where the buddhi has reach or scope? Or what are the Vishaya, the objects of buddhi? Adhyatma, Adhideva, Sthula Sukshma, Dehatmakaha. My body, my gross body, my subtle body. Adhibhuta, Adhideva. Adhideva because the Devatas are all Chetanas. Atma is Chetana. Devatas are Chetana, Bhutas are not Chetana. So Adhyatma, Adhideva. The individual Upadhi and the cosmic Upadhi, because only Chetana have the Upadhi. Sthula, Sukshma. At the individual level there is gross body, subtle body, cosmic level, gross and subtle body. All of these are the, which is where the buddhi has scope. Where the buddhi dwells, where the buddhi can reach. Tesham sakshi sorokoham, I am the sakshi. Witness me, I am illuminator. I am in fact the one that imparts the awareness to them, the intelligence to them. Sorokoham, I reveal them. So I am the one that is revealer of this individual upadhi and the cosmic upadhi. As consciousness. See, it was earlier said that, so I am, as consciousness, I illumine the buddhi and therefore whatever is the object of buddhi, and buddhi objectifies the individual as well as the cosmic upadhi. Tadvatatha, so just as I illumine this upadhi, the gross and subtle body, so also I illumine the upadhi of any other person also. I am the witness in this upadhi, I am witness in all the upadhis. Sakshi bhede pramana abhavat. You cannot distinguish one sakshi from the other. Who is sakshi? The witness. Who is the witness? Who is unconnected with what is witnessed. Drashta is illuminated as Sphurakaha, that which illumines. The illuminator is unconnected to the illuminated. So just as I am illuminated here in this one upadhi, so also unconnected with this, I am the same illuminator because illuminator of Sakshi is Nirvishesha. All Visheshas are there in Sakshya, in what is illumined. The illuminator always is free from all the attributes of the illumined. So Nirvishesh Sakshyam, and that is Nirvishesh means there is nothing distinguished this Sakshi from the other Sakshi. Sakshi Bhede Pramana Abhavat, just as there is nothing to distinguish the space in this part from the space in the other part. Because the space is no Vishesha at all. So, one space cannot be distinguished from the other space. So also one witness, one consciousness cannot be distinguished from another consciousness. So Sakshi is one, consciousness is one, Sakshi is one. So what's the relationship now between the witness, Sakshi, the consciousness, and what is illumined, what is witnessed? So it is quoted a verse from the Kaivalya Upanishad. Mayeva sakalam jatam, Mai saram pradishthidam, Mai saram layam yadi, Tad brahmadvyam asmyaham. Mayeva sakalam jatam, everything is born in me or from me. Mai saram pradishthidam, everything is abiding in me, stationed in me, sustained in me. Mai saram layam yadi, ultimately emerges. So everything emerges from me, is sustained in me, it merges back into me. That means that all of this is superimposed upon me. Tasmat Advam Brahmasmyaham. Therefore, the non-dual Brahma I am. So, on one hand, it is said that everything emerges from me. Everything is sustained in me. Everything merges back into me. Therefore, I am non-dual Brahman. But how do you account for everything? In you, everything is emerging from you, emerges, and you is sustained. That means nothing is different from me. Clay can say that all the parts have emerged from me. They are stationed in me. They merge back into me. So here also the Atma says that everything is emerging from me, sustained in me, merges back into me, not separate from me. So what's the relationship between the clay and the pot? Pot is superimposed upon the clay. The effect is superimposed upon the material cause. So I am the material cause upon which the whole prapancha is superimposed. They were never separate. Not only parts are not separate, they do not create duality in clay. Tasmat Brahmadvyam asmyaham, therefore I am the non-dual Brahman. By saying that, Kaivalya Upanishad says that whole prapancha is superimposed. इत्यादि श्रुतेः मयि एव एकस्मिन् चिदेकरसे आत्मनि सर्वप्रमातृ तद्बुद्धि तत्प्रचारगोचरस्य प्रपंचस्य कल्पितत्वात्. So that shloka from the Kaivalya Upanishad amounts to saying that the whole prapancha is projected on me. Then only this statement is possible. That emerges from me, sustains in me, merges back into me. So what is it? That ityadi shruti, based on that shruti, Mai eva ekasmin chidekarase, I who is one, nothing but pure consciousness, homogeneous consciousness, Atmani who is the self, sarva pramatru. So not only one pramata, sarva pramatru, tad buddhi, all the knowers pramata. The buddhi of the knower, tat prachara gocharasya. So I am a pramata, my buddhi is own vishayas, all of this is illumined by consciousness. So in me, the pramata, the prameya, the prama, all of these are illumined by consciousness. That is called the witness. And there is nothing to distinguish consciousness, I am from the consciousness everywhere. Therefore, I as consciousness illumine all the pramatas, all the prameya, all the pramiti. So says, sarva pramatru tad buddhi. Buddhi in all the pramata, tat prachara, the vishayas, the objects of all pramatas, all of these. So prapancha is called prapancha. Mayeva sakalam jatam. Everything is born in me or of me. What is everything? The pramata, the prameya, the pramiti, pramanam, everything. And therefore, so sarva pramatru, that is pramata. Tad buddhi, that is pramanam. Prat prachara gocharam, that is the prameya. So, prapanchasya kalpitatva, the entire prapancha is projected upon me. Yuktam mama sarvajñatvari, therefore as adhishthanam. So that was declares consciousness, Atma as adhisthana. Earlier Atma was presented as Sakshi. Here is adhisthana. Upon adhisthana, everything is projected. The adhisthana sustains everything, illumines everything, pervades everything. Therefore, yuktam mama sarvajñatvadi. Therefore, it's quite appropriate that I am sarvajña, illumining everything, sarvagaha, pervading everything. Yasmat evam aham sarvasakshittvena sarvadhisthanatvena sarvajña sarvagatascha. As sakshi of all, I am sarvajña, omniscient. As adhisthana of all, I am this sarvagaha, all pervading. Sarvagataha tasmat apodhum or adatum na shakya. Therefore, I cannot be given up, nor can I be acquired. Nobody can give me up, nobody can acquire, because I am the very self of everybody, everything. Everybody and everything. The whole universe consisting of sentient, insentient entities, oneself. So tables and chairs also the same self that I have, that anybody has, because there is one, which is adhisthana, upon which all the names and forms are superimposed. So there is no distinction then. In sentient and insentient, no distinction, because they are names and forms. They are equally superimposed, equally mithya. Therefore, apodhum ayamasya drashta na bhavati atra nasti iti va. So, as Sakshi, I am omniscient. As adhishthanam, I am all pervasive. So, Sakshi cannot be denied by anybody, because he cannot be, something cannot exist unless Sakshi is there. The Sakshi, what is witness, cannot deny the witness, because the proof of the witness depends upon the witness. That the clock is there is because I am the witness of the clock. So clock cannot say I don't accept the witness. Because the very presence of the clock is only established because there is a witness of the clock, namely myself. See, nothing can establish its being there unless it is witnessed. So clock has its existence. Clock can reveal existence, that I am only when there is a witness. Therefore the presence of clock reveals its witness, otherwise clock cannot be. So clock cannot say I don't accept the witness. It can say that, but it would be ridiculous because you would not be there. Similarly, Adhyaropa cannot deny the adhisthana. So Sakshitvena, Sara Adhisthanatvena, I am the witness and everything is witness. So everything depends upon me, so they cannot deny, nothing can deny the witness because they would not be there. Nothing can deny the adhisthana because again they would not be there. So I cannot be rejected by anything. I cannot be acquired by anything. Because everything depends upon me for being there, and everything will not exist without me. How can you give me up? Because they won't exist. How can you acquire? Because they are not separate from me. Therefore, sarva sakshitvena, sarvadhisthanatvena, sarvajña, sarvagatas tasmat, apodum, ayamasya drashtana bhavati. Nobody can say, I don't have a drashta. Atracha nasti iti. Nobody can say, I am not. If I am not, then nothing is. If I don't witness, then nothing is. Iti niragartum naiva shakya kenachita. Nobody can deny me. Because for anybody to be, for anybody to shine, I am the first requirement. I impart existence and intelligence to everything. Satta Spurti. Nacheva adatum, nor can anybody acquire me. So adatum jnanena kriyaya va prakashayatum utpadayatum akrashtum va. You can acquire something, you can say, by knowing. When you objectify something, you can say, I have acquired it by knowing it. That also requires the distance between the known and the knower. But nothing is apart from me. So nothing can stand apart from me to know me. Nothing can stand apart from me to reject me. Nothing can stand apart from me to act upon me. The distance is not there. So jnanena adatum, to know me by knowledge. Kriya adatum, to acquire me by action. So jnanena prakashayatum, kriya utpadayatum. Nobody can create me, akrashtum, or nobody can pull me, nobody can create me. Nashakya, therefore, no kriya is possible. Nothing is, because that shows that I am the Atma of all. This description applies to Atma. Because for me to acquire something, I should be separate from that. For me to reject something, I should separate from that. So nothing can acquire me, nothing can reject me, because I am the Atma of all. And therefore I am one Atma. There are no many Atmas, no many witnesses. Therefore, what I witness in my buddhi, I witness everywhere. Therefore I am the witness of all the buddhis, and therefore I am omniscient. I pervade what I witness, therefore I pervade everything, therefore I am Sarvagya. So there is no pramanam for establishing the duality or manyness of Sakshi. And shown in the way also that I am the Atma of all. Because I cannot be rejected, nor can I be acquired, I am the Atma of all. There is one Atma, one witness. As one witness, I know everything. As Atma, I pervade everything, know everything. He yasmat, so says, tasmat paro hyaham. He yasmat aham. Who am I? Grahya grahakadi prapancha vilakshana. I am neither grahya, cannot be acquired, grahaka, not an acquirer, cannot be known. Grahaka and grahya. Grahya can mean perceived or acquired. Grahaka means perceiver or acquirer. Meaning I cannot be acquired by knowledge or by action. Grahya grahakadi prapancha vilakshana. I am quite distinct the whole prapancha. So grahya grahaka includes the entire prapancha. I am vilakshana. Distinct from that. Tasmat paraha. So prapancha is inferior. I transcend the prapancha. Therefore, I am paraha. Means Paramatma Vedi Upasamhara. I am Paramatma alone. So what was said in the first verse, Sarvajñas, Param Brahma Sarvajñas Chasi Swaraga, is established second verse, Upasamhara. Meaning that what Pratigna was done is concluded here. Then, Nanu Buddhyarudam Chetsaram Prakashade Kshetrajnena. Kshetrajnena Buddhyarudam Prakashade Saram Prakashade Chet. If you say Kshetrajna, the Atma, the consciousness, by the Atma, Prakashate is element. Whatever is Buddhyarudam, whatever is the object of buddhi. So now you say that you are omniscient because you eliminate everything. You eliminate the buddhi and therefore the knower of the buddhi, the object of buddhi, pramata, prameya, pramanam, prama, everything you eliminate. Okay. Tada darshana kriyayam kartrutvadi. Then you are the knower of everything. You say you are knower of everything. So then you possess knowerness. Omniscient means one who knows. all three periods of time. That means you are knower. Tada darshana kriyayam kartrutvat. You are a drashta. Who is drashta? Darshana kriyayaha karta. The agent of the act of seeing, agent of act of knowing. Then vikaritvat, an agent always changes. As the object of knowledge changes, the knower also changes. Therefore, if you are a pramata or a drashta, then you are subject to change. Vikaritva dosha prapte, then you will be, there will be defects in you, such as undergoing change. Then you will be also perishable. All kinds of doshas will come moment change comes. And anatmatva prasanga anadosha is that this is the character of anatma. Anatma is a chetana and is vikari, is perishable. So, if you are a knower, in a primary sense, then you are as good as anatma, perishable, vikari, changing, unreal. So, anatmatva prasanga, the atma will become anatma. If atma is knower in the primary sense, then it becomes anatma, because then anatma, that knower keeps changing, so it is vikari, so it is perishable, so it is achetan, therefore anatma. The shankam nirasyati. So that shanka is now here removed in the next verse. Vikaritvam shuddhatvam bhautikatvam na chatmanah ashesha buddhi sakshitvat buddhivannalpa vedana. Atmanah vikaritvam ashuddhatvam bhautikatvam cha na pratigna. First line says Atmana of the self, vikaritvam na vikaritvam, atma na vikaritvam. There is no change, modification in atma. Na ashuddhatvam, there is no impurity in atma. Na bhautikatvam, there is no tangibility in atma. Why? That's the pratigna. What is the hetu? Ashesha buddhi sakshitvat. Because Atma is the Sakshi, the witness of all the buddhis, not one buddhi. If Atma was the witness of one buddhi, then you can call him only witness and pramata. He is simultaneously the witness of all the buddhi. He is knower, all right, but not the knower that you understand. Not knower confined to one buddhi. He is knower of all the buddhis, so knowerness is not there. When he simultaneously knows all the buddhis, he illumines all the buddhis. So illumination is called knowing. That there is no knowerness in primary sense. Buddhivat na alpavedana. And then buddhi has only limited knowledge of what it illumines. Here illuminate all the buddhis, therefore the limitedness of knowledge also is not there. Therefore, this vikaritvam, ashuddhatvam, bhautikatvam is not in me. So Tika says, Atmana na vikaritvam. See pratigna. Atma is not vikari, not subject to modification, does not change. Why? Buddhivat savayatva abhavat. Now let us go, let us see who is a vikari. Who is subject to change or modification? Savayavam, that which is made up of many avayavas or parts, that will change. Parts are all joined together. Even when they are there also they undergo change because each one is limited. And someday they will separate also, is perishable also. But anything that is created, we have seen number of times, this savayam is always an assembly. Atma is not created, is not an assembly of many parts. Therefore, na vikaritvam. Then anything that is an assembly will always change and will dismantle also. That is not there. Atma is not vikari. Also, sarvikara sakshitvacha. So two reasons are given why Atma is not vikari. One is, its very nature is nirvana, that vikara is not possible. Secondly, it's the witness of all the vikaras. And witness is always different from what is witnessed. So I am the witness of all the vikaras, therefore I am nirvikara. I am never created, ever there, therefore I am not an assembly, therefore I am nirvikara. Tatevana Atmana Shuddhatvam, second is Shuddha. For that very reason also, Atma is not impure. Kriya Guna Yogitvam Asti. So Kriya Guna Yogitvam, a dravya substance, possesses Kriya as well as Guna. So Kriya and Guna, both of them require an ashraya in substance. That is substantial, tangible. Then every substance is limited and therefore is impure. But na kriya guna yogitvam asti. Or also darshana kriya guna yogitvam nasti. That also you can say that in Atma there is no association or connection with the act of seeing also. Sakala guna kriya vastu sakshitvad. But what we said earlier is better. Sakala guna kriyavad vastu. All vastu or entities which possess kriya and guna. A kriya action always requires a locus. And a guna quality also requires a locus. For Vedanta, the guna and guni cannot be separated. You cannot know the guna separate from guni. This orange color. You cannot separate from this ashraya, the locus is the cloth, let us say. So you cannot separate the orange from what is orange. So guna and guni, both of them are known simultaneously. So it's not that you only know guna. Then, so guna, sakala guna kriya vad vastu. Vastu, an entity that possesses kriya or guna. So that includes all substances. All substantial things, bhautika things, Everything that is bhautika is assembly of bhutas, is created, is substantial, is tangible, possesses guna and or kriya. And Atma is a witness of all of this. I eliminate everything. Therefore, I don't have guna, I cannot have kriya also. So kriya guna yogitvam nasti. Where kriya is there or guna is there, again change is there, perishability is there, impurity is there. Therefore, ashuddhatvam is not there in me. So vikaritvam, ashuddhatvam, bhautikatvam. Napi bhautikatvam. Atmana rupadhihinatvat. Bhautika means tangible. Tangible is that which can be objectified. What can be objectified? Rupa. So, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they all can be objectified. So, since Atma is na Shabda, na Sparsha, therefore, it cannot be objectified, therefore, it is not a bhautika or objective or tangible entity. It is also not an assembly of bhutas, that's called bhautika, or modification of bhuta is called bhautika. It was uncreated. Kincha na atmana buddhivat alpa vedana. Here vedana means awareness. Yatha buddhehe buddhi tat samsargadi vishaya vedana asti. Ne evam atmanah. So buddhi is vedana. Buddhi is the sensibility or buddhi experiences, feels, aware of. buddhi tat samsargadi vishaya. At the most, buddhi eliminates the objects that come in contact with the buddhi, and buddhi may eliminate its own self. That is the extent of the Vedana or the sense, the experience or sensitivity of the buddhi is only extends only that much. It cannot feel, be sensible or know anything more than itself and the objects associated with that. So Alpa Vedana. Buddhi's Vedana, knowledge or awareness is insignificant. Ashesha Buddhi Sakshitvat. Since I am the witness of all the buddhis, therefore, Nalpa Vedana, there is no limitedness in awareness or knowledge. Sarvabuddhi Swarupa Tadvikaradi Sakshitvad Ityartha. I am the witness of all the buddhis as well as modifications of buddhis as well as all the objects of the buddhi. Therefore, every buddhi is limited in what it is aware of, what it pervades. But I am the witness of all the buddhis, therefore, there is no limitation of knowledge in me. There is no tangibility in me. There is no change in me, no vikara in me, no impurity in me. Meaning what? That I don't become an Atma. If Atma was a knower in primary sense, you say that you are omniscient, you know all the buddhis. If you know all the buddhis, are you a knower of the buddhis? No, only by way of illuminator. Even the act of illumination is not there, I am called illuminator. The sun is called illuminator of the world, not that there is any act of illumination. Just my presence I illuminate everything. Therefore there is no kartrutva, no doership, so no vikara, there is no impurity, no limitedness. ये निर्विकार एव आत्मा कथम तरी सह सर्वार्थ प्रकाशक इति उच्यते इति आशंक्य. You, the Atma, the conscious, nirvikara, you are free from all modifications, you are changeless. Katham tari sarvartha prakashaka. Then how do you say that Atma or you is the illuminator of all the objects? Because the illuminator, will it not change when based on what is illuminated? If you are the illuminator of all the objects, then how do you say that you are nirvikara? You are illuminating all the vikaras. All vikaras are centered on the objects which you are illuminating. Ita ashankya loka prasiddha drishtantena nirvikarasya prakashakatvam upapadayati. How? Prakashakatvam. Prakashaka, the illuminator is always nirvikara. Sun is the illuminator, and by presence alone sun illumines. So therefore sun is an example of an illuminator which does not need to do anything to illuminate, which doesn't have the agency of illumination, doesn't have kartrutva of illumination, doesn't have sankalpa of illumination. All it is just is. In presence of sun, the illumination takes place, so we call the sun the illuminator. Because we find all objects illumined, so there is a need for an illuminator, so we call sun the illuminator. That's our notion about the sun, or that's the idea we superimpose upon the sun and call him illuminator. As far as sun is concerned, there is no act of illumination at all. That simple example, but then a little more complicated example is given. Loka prasiddha drishtantena, whatever. So, gives an example here which is well known to everybody. So says the fourth verse. Mano prakashyate yadvat raktadyakara tape मयि सन्दृश्यते सर्वम् आतपेनेव तन्मया. See here, the example of sun is given that if there is a crystal here, for example, the example is of a crystal, and there is a color that the crystal has. So this color can be illuminated only in sunlight. If it was dark here, then this color would not be illuminated. So crystal is colored, number one. But that you can perceive the colored crystal because it is illuminated by sun. So this color is illuminated by the sun, and that is how you are able to see it in the crystal. That's the example. Meaning that to perceive the colored crystal, you need sunlight. If sunlight is not there, the colored crystal cannot be perceived. So sunlight is the illuminator of the colored crystal. Why colored crystal? Why not color itself? Because what you see is colored crystal. It is buddhi in which you see. So buddhi is compared to a crystal. And all the various objects are like the cloth. All the objects are reflected in the buddhi. But even then they can be known provided there is an illuminator. Objects are reflected in the crystal. But they reflected objects also can be known provided there is someone that illumines, that is sun. Only when the sun illumines the objects, the illumined objects get reflected in the crystal, that's how they become known. So also consciousness illumines things. Those illumined names and forms get reflected in the buddhi, which is like crystal. And that's the fact that you know the objects of the buddhi means that all these objects are illumined and like the sun. And therefore consciousness illumines everything. Those things get reflected in the buddhi. That's how they become the objects of knowledge. And so there is an illuminator in whom there is no act of illumination, like sun. So the Atma is consciousness, illuminator, without the agency of illumination. So Sarvartha Prakashaka is all right. But in a Prakashaka, like sun, there is no agency of illumination, is not an act. So to illumine is a Kriyapada, all right. Pada means a word. Kriyapada means a word indicating action. But there are certain Kriyapadas which don't involve action, even though they are called Kriyapada. Like Asti, Bhati, Prakashate. They are also Kriyapadas. But no Kriya is involved. They are the verbs of being. Verb generally implies action. But there are some verbs or verbs of being. That's what the Mimamsaka means. Verb means some action is involved. No. No action is involved in being. So also no action is involved in shining. Or even illumining also. Shining does not involve an action. Because shine is a nature. Illumining also does not involve, because to illumine also is the nature. Therefore, when I say that I know all the objects, it means I illumine all the objects. But since Atma does not directly illumine, Atma illumines Buddhi and Buddhi illumines the objects. That is why this example of crystal. Nana Chiddha Ghato Darasthita Maha Deepa Prabhavaswaram Jnanam. So there is a ghata in which there is a lamp, and the rays of the light, beams of the light emerge from those apertures, and that's how objects are illuminated. Here the lamp is nothing but the self reflected in consciousness. Conscious reflected in the buddhi. So Atma illumines the whole universe, all right. By first being reflected in buddhi and through that it illumines. Therefore, here the crystal illumines, provided crystal itself illumines. So that is how the buddhi is introduced in between, the crystal is introduced in between here. So mano prakashate yadvat raktadi akarata atape. Ata means sunlight. So when the sunlight is there, raktadi akarata manu prakashate. Then the raktadi, red, etc., colors, etc., they shine in a crystal. Only when the sun is shining. So that example is given. Manavu sphatikadi lakshane japa kusamadi rupa raktadi akarata. Manav means a jewel. Here it means sphatikadi lakshane. So jewel means any other stone also, which is transparent like this. Colorless, transparent, reflects the light. Crystal, it can be also precious stones, because they also reflect. That's how in Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas describes the different pillars in the Sabha of King Janaka, where Swayamvara is taking place. And then those things reflect the faces and expressions of all the kings, and then you can see the expression, ultimately the face of Sita also. So nice, very nice illustration is given there, that's called Kavi. So Manav Sphatikadi Lakshane. So they are not Sphatika, they were all precious stones, which also shine on their own. He describes that in the palace of Mother Sita, there were no lamps like this. No lamps illumine fire. Lamps only of the precious stone, because they are cool. They illuminate, they are cool. This lamp, she's too delicate to even to suffer. Put up with the heat coming from this lamp. So in her palace, only lamps of the precious stones. Things like that. Manav sphatikadi lakshane japa kusamadi rupa raktadi akarata atvam atape is sati saptami. Atape suryaloke sativa prakashate. So the raktadi akarata, the redness in a crystal, becomes evident only in presence of sunlight. So crystal may have redness coming from, or whatever, redness, let us say, raktadi akarata. So that comes from elsewhere. So buddhi also a different akara coming from the names and forms. So buddhi is like a crystal which has assumed this form. But buddhi also requires light to illumine, just as the crystal also requires sunlight to illumine the color. So color of the crystal doesn't belong to crystal, but crystal is a color because of the upadhi. So buddhi also doesn't have its own form. Buddhi is like crystal which can reflect any form. Buddhi itself has any kind of akara, it can reflect their akara. Crystal has its own color, it can reflect their colors. So buddhi is like that because it is able to take form of any object, any name and form. So just as in a stone like crystal, in a jewel like crystal, japa kusumadi, flower, raktadi akara, it is cloth. So the red color which is in the sphatika, atape suryaloke sativa prakashate, it shines only in presence of the sunlight. Kriyate, even if it is there, you don't perceive it. But you perceive it. They could have given an example of red stone also, but sphatika is given because redness of sphatika comes from elsewhere. So akara buddhi comes from elsewhere, that is why this sphatika is given. Tatha mahi kshetrake aditya sthaniye vidyamane eva. Mahi, second line says, sati saptami. Mahi sati eva. Who am I? Kshetrajne aditya sthaniye, who is in the place of Aditya or the sun. Vidyamane eva, only if sun is there, then only you can see the red color in the crystals. Also, in the buddhi you see various objects that show the presence of someone that illumines that. So, Mai Vidyamane eva. All of the sun is an example known to everybody. Atma is not like sun in that sense that it can be objectified. But sun shines, Atma also shines. Sun illumines, Atma illumines. In that way there is similarity. Sphadikadisthaniyam buddhau japakusam raktadisthaniyam sarvam vishayajatam sandrushyate. So buddhi reflects all the vishayas. The crystal reflects all colors. And those colors in the crystal are known only when illuminated by sunlight. So all the objects in buddhi are known when illuminated by consciousness. You would accept consciousness illuminator. The example is, just as in sun there is no agency of illumination, also Atma is called knower, all right, but it's illuminator. And illuminated by nature just shines and doesn't perform the act of illumination, doesn't have to. Tasmat, tat means tasmat, atapena iva. Mai sandrusyate sarvam atapena iva. Tat means tasmat, atapena iva, nisprakampena maya. All the prakampa, all the change, movement can be there in the crystal. The objects come and go, colors come and go, all movement can appear in crystal. So the objects can come and go in the buddhi. So all movement can be there. The prakasha illuminated is motionless. Nishkam prakampena maya saram prakashate. So dhyayativa, lelayativa, all of these dhyanam, lelayanam is all the nature of buddhi. The one that illumines is free from all these modifications or changes or movement. So thus there are two knowers as though. One is buddhi, other is a consciousness. The buddhivat vikaravata maya. Third case. I am not vikaravata. I am not possessed of vikara like buddhi. Buddhivat like buddhi. Vikaravata. Not like an entity that undergoes change like buddhi. I am not that kind of illuminator. Buddhi is an illuminator object while itself undergoing change. Buddhi illuminates the objects while itself also undergoing change. I am the illuminator without undergoing change. So two illuminators are there. One is buddhi, other is the consciousness. Buddhi undergoes change, then only things can be known. But consciousness illuminator just illumines everything by its very presence. Or there is a Patha Veda, a second footnote, na buddhivat vikaravatta. Buddhivat vikaravat, possessed of buddhi. I am not possessed of vikara like buddhi is possessing. I am nirvikara. Alright, that means that buddhi knows everything. Why is your need? If buddhi is vikaravat, if buddhi also possess vikara, knows all the vikara, then what's your role? How do you say that you are there? Na buddhireva drashtri. Don't say that buddhi is drashtri or seer in the primary sense. It is who is the drashta in primary sense? I am the drashta in primary sense, not buddhi. So if buddhi is the drashta, there is no need of Atma. No, buddhi is not the drashta in primary sense, I am the one. If you are the drashta, then why do you need buddhi? After all, knowing is the primary thing here. Either buddhi knows everything that you are not required. You know everything, the buddhi is not required. No. Nacha evam sati buddhi anupayoga heva. Just because I, the Atma, knows everything doesn't mean buddhi has no use. Chaitanyasya vishaya vishesh akaratva apatanaya tadupyogat. So Chaitanya is nirvishesha jnana. Chaitanya illumines nirvisheshata. All visheshata is brought about in light of Chaitanya by buddhi. Buddhi doesn't say buddhi illumines because buddhi itself is inert. What buddhi does is, buddhi presents before Chaitanya all the Visheshata. Thus objects possess the Samanyata, Asti Bhadi Priyatva, and Navarupa Ghata, Navarupa. Asti Bhadi Priya Samanya Amsha of everything. And that consciousness illumines. It is consciousness. What does buddhi do? Buddhi brings to consciousness the Vishesha of name and form. If only consciousness is there, illumination will be there, but only Samanya illumination will be there. In deep sleep also. Deep sleep also, illumination is there. Samanya Jnanam is there, Vishesha Jnanam is not there. The waking and dream stage, Vishesha Jnanam is there because the buddhi takes the form of the objects. And that's how the Visheshata of the objects is known because of buddhi. So buddhi has this great usefulness by presenting the Visheshata, the particularity before the consciousness, so that consciousness can illumine the Visheshata also. Consciousness on its own illumines Samanyata. Buddhi brings the Visheshata. So, Chaitanyasya Vishaya Vishesha Akaratva Apadanaya. Vishaya Vishesha, the specific, the peculiarity of the Vishaya, Akaratva. So, the peculiarity of every name and form is presented before consciousness by buddhi. Tadupayoga, that's the use of the buddhi. And buddhi is a consciousness, is nowhere in the eliminated primary sense, and buddhi brings before consciousness all the peculiarities of names and forms. So both have the roles to perform. Buddhi is like the crystal that reflects all the names and forms, but they can be known provided there is an illuminated consciousness. So that proves the presence of consciousness. The fact that things are known proves the presence of illuminator. Like sun, that illumines the colored crystal. Crystal is colored, crystal brings different colors before the sunlight. Sunlight illumines red color, yellow color, blue color when crystal brings them. Sunlight illumines in general. Then the peculiar things are brought by crystal in this particular instance. That is why buddhi and Atma. Atma is knower in primary sense. Buddhi can be called knower in the secondary sense. And therefore the question was, how can you be nirvikara and still prakashaka? You claim yourself prakashaka, means illuminator. The illuminator illumines all the visheshas. The will not illuminator also undergo change as the visheshas illumine change, you know. All vishesha changes take place in buddhi. Illuminator remains ever changeless. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Adarayanam Trabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.